Alright.
Okay, we're live.
Oh, we're back.
We're back. Welcome back. We're in the thick of it. I dragged out a Potter token so that we could keep track of this poor critter's life. Where we just left, he attempted to break free, but could not overpower the bear that held him captive, and took a nasty stab. The bear still has their focus and is going to try to stab once again. And I am going to roll what I rolled before, basically.
Oh wait, we didn't, that was a break focus to stab.
Yeah, they did a counterattack and now they're breaking focus.
Well, yeah, Bradley, you haven't taken your turn yet, Doc, and we still have dying people.
That's correct, so it sounds like focus is interrupting me.
No, he already did that.
So here's what happened, though. Because, correct me if I'm wrong, because I might be wrong here. So, Dow breaks focus to stab Potter. Potter breaks focus to attack Dow. Dow counterattacks Potter's focus and wins. Dow is still not reeling and still has not taken their focus attack yet.
Yes,
so that's the attack I'm talking about.
Oh,
Does this make sense?
Oh,
this makes sense.
Yeah, okay. I didn't know that the Potter had done something. I thought we were still on the initial breaking focus. Okay, never mind.
Yeah, like we're 2 levels deep. It's a little messy now, but...
Well, we just need somebody to drop us all in water.
Yeah.
Who's driving the van?
Exactly. Where's the kick? So I don't believe Potter can counter this because of the immobilization, but he can try to. I think dodging is probably his only option. He's not a brawling fighter, right?
Right.
Okay, so let's see how this goes. There's the 8, but everything else is a 2 or a 1. So
well, I might as well only roll my Knight Errant because I raised that to a D8.
Hey.
No, he's hit.
Okay.
That's what, 4 damage?
Yep. 1 for the weapon, and then 2 for hurt and injured, so 4 damage coming at you. Alright, he soaks 2 of the 4, so there's no change. Tao is trying to cut him ear from ear, and he's wriggling, but you can see blood on the knife, blood on his chest. It don't look good for your boy Potter, and now it is back to you guys. Or for the actually, it's not back to you guys, it's the remainder of your turns.
Indeed. So, how are the irregulars doing? Is there anyone dying right now?
Well, I had to make a suggestion. You should probably rally Potter and first aid.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too.
And first aid my dying guy.
Alright, so I'll do first aid on the dying real quick. Let's get that out of the way. Congratulations, 3 successes.
And what do you roll for dying guys who don't get treated? Or do they roll at the end of combat?
They should roll at the end of every round.
Alright, well here, hold on, let me...
Yeah.
D6 for Pamphylia.
Yeah. So you figured that out on the side.
Try not to botch.
She didn't die, now she's fatigued.
I am rallying Connor with 4 successes.
Potter.
He is not hurt, reeling, or afraid.
Oh, you're right, Potter. Connor. Okay, so you can actually do shit. Okay. So he's no longer...
Which one am I trying to rally here? What was the suggestion? I
Potter.
think it was Potter.
You just said Connor. That's the confusion.
Right.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, so Potter here, no longer reeling, hurt, afraid, and he could have focus too, why not? Unless he's still immobilized, right?
He's still immobilized.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
your rally can turn that to slowed.
I can turn it to reeling.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, you can do 2 layers? Or you have enough successes to do 2 layers?
He would have to still be something else. But yeah, sure. He could just be reeling now.
Right, reeling, not slowed. Okay, but then still
that's what
hurt
I'm saying.
or
it
still
goes
afraid?
Immobilized to slowed, and then slowed to reeling, right?
I had 4, so we got rid of 4. This is the final state unless we want to change something.
That's all I
Okay.
was just verifying.
Yeah.
Saying it out
Gotcha.
loud for the people in the podcasts.
And of course, I'm going to go ahead and do Flesh Ward in order to protect him. So he gets to roll his will,
Ward.
and hey, Potter, now might be the best time to change your religion to mine.
Wouldn't he need the piety gift to make this count, though?
You're free to pick it at any time, Potter. All I'm saying is that your soul and your life are on the line right now.
All he's
I would
saying
say
is that Connor can spend
He
10
still rolls will.
XP
yes.
to make
Right.
Potter pious.
Ark, if you have 10 XP and you want to spend them on piety for Potter, you could do that if you have it.
I do not. I'm sorry. I kind
Ah,
of wish
sorry,
I did.
Potter.
This would be hilarious, but I'll just roll my will.
another one slips through my fingers. Congratulations, that is 4 points of Flesh Ward on Potter.
The doc does make a compelling argument.
You do.
You know, if your mortal life isn't enough to make you suddenly reconsider everything, I'm not sure there's much else I can do to get through to you.
Just
So that's my
saying
turn.
the joke that we always make about Potter, all the other stuff. It's like he suddenly does become pious. He's a Lutarist now. You're blessed, right?
Oh, yikes.
Right? So don't forget to give that Potter some Flesh Ward. And we're good.
I can't.
Good.
manipulate the token.
I'll do the thing. What do we use for Flesh Ward? The heart? How many
Yeah, the little
points did he
circle
get?
heart. 4.
Oh, nice. Okay.
He can definitely survive being stabbed again.
Cool.
Connor's going to recover from reeling, and I don't think you can focus in the same turn that you recover from.
Back. Can you hear me? Oh, okay. I was calling you back from Thailand's Health Oncology.
left, you get to the forest where your big bad is, but you go all the way right, you go to Connor's endangered countrymen.
Yeah.
So, but where are you gonna
And I think
go? By
at least
locate,
a source of
I'd help.
reference. I think I did tell Connor about like the incoming invasion at some point while he was at home. I don't know if Connor followed up on that though.
I should have, and I'm not sure what to do about it. Actually, this is a very
We could flash back to it too if we want
yeah.
to cover that.
It's
I
the
don't know what you want to do.
dilemma.
Just saying, I do remember this detail, and oh hey, it finally came up.
Yeah, no, and
Man, I
that's
sure would feel terrible if I just didn't say anything.
no, that's warranted. I think I remember that as well. So it's some people might believe you, and some people might have taken precautions, but we'll just have to find that out. That will be the
Nope.
end result of a long trek, or a sustained flight, or a bilocation. But yeah, one way or another, you're gonna have to go away from one of your goals to get to find the other one. I mean, maybe I'll just do it
Give
now
us
since we're
two
talking
goals.
about it.
Like
Yeah, the
like
goal is
save Fair Marouge or stop her.
exactly that's the goal. How did I word it? So the one goal you already have, which is the necromantic circle. I think you guys already have that, right? The final necromantic circle. The
Yeah.
other goal I was going to offer was the wording I used was defend Fermarouge from the Bisclavaret attack. But in fact, in this context, it might make more sense for it to be save Connor's family. It's more dramatic.
It
Okay.
is very much more.
Let's go with that because I think that's more dramatic, and because defending, you could still lose the fight if you were there defending. You'd still get that's the goal should be to prevent a certain outcome, and the thing you want is to save your family. So,
Bam. There we go.
short, sweet, to the point. Okay, Data, you're back.
Yeah.
Okay, welcome back.
Potter alive?
Potter is still with us, yes. And I think we still have a couple actions left on the allies' turn.
Oh, sorry. The way y'all were talking, I thought it got resolved while I was away.
Oh, we were just having fun while we were waiting.
Yeah, sorry. I was highly unprofessional as a streamer to just drop the call, but
Nah, you're good.
I didn't want to risk losing the return call.
They'd try not to die first and then stream. I know those priorities get crossed sometimes.
Okay.
So yeah,
Where were we?
Where were we? We
players'
determined
turn?
still player's turn. Potter has no moves left because he was sent reeling. The doctor just healed some people. I think Connor readied a weapon. Was that the only thing Connor did?
2 weapons, but
yeah. Ready to do. Okay, cool.
Is this the same turn that I did the silence early on in?
I believe so. Yes.
Okay, in which
We're almost
case
done
it's
with it.
also the same turn that
Oh, that you taunted.
Yeah, that I taunted and that Rut refreshed, removed glamour because he doesn't have secrets.
Right. Okay.
So otherwise, everybody is still in the same boat.
Same situation, same boat. I think Connor.
yes.
Just a question. When you ready weapons, don't you have your 2-weapon fighter gift lets you ready 2 at once? I feel like that's just one action.
Lets you ready 2 at once, yes.
So you still have an action left.
Didn't you recover from reeling from having
yes.
tricked?
Oh, right. No, you're right. Okay, we're all then the math.
Look, I know I'm juggling other shit in my mind here too, but
yeah, no, you're right. I'm glad that we've got multiple people doing this.
Thank you.
This might be easier if we had tokens out, but I feel like this could just be one more round or so.
Yeah, actually, I think this would be easier if we
going.
were using a spreadsheet.
Right? Yeah, just having. But okay, Dow's turn is rather straightforward. He looks at the spiky porcupine, aglow with holy light, and he's like, "Why won't you die?" And I think we're going to let's see. He's not wearing black robes, so he doesn't get a free ready. But he could ready and cast a spell. He's not holding, he'd have to ready it into his hand. I think he could ready Torment into his hand and cast it right into Potter's fucking face. I think that's what we're going to do, because he needs to do a lot of damage. He's got this flesh ward. Where's my necromancy? Necromantic weapons, torment, will, leadership, 2d6 versus target's mind and supernatural. Will is a d12. Leadership, they'll be trained in because necromancer. So that's 2d12, 2d6. You get your mind and supernatural. And
Sorry, who are they attacking?
they're attacking Potter.
Okay.
Right in Potter's face. Potter does have that flesh ward, so we'll see. It's probably going to save him. Okay. Nines, that's 3 successes. Torment is damage +1 critical penetrating weak. So we got an additional damage for critical, that brings it to 4. Damage +1 brings it to 5. Potter is still injured, that brings it to 6. But it's weak, so you soak twice, but you ignore Potter's armor.
He doesn't sleep in armor. I haven't been including it.
I super freaking appreciate that, because you don't sleep in your armor, so thank you very much. So it'll be the same roll you were making before, and you get to roll it twice. And 6 damage could do it. What do we got? I got 1. I got 2.
Did you include the D8 for reeling?
I did not. Here's a D8. Thank you for keeping me honest. Okay,
So
so
no
it didn't
change.
matter.
Then you soak the 2 and then you blow through 4 points of flesh ward. And
Yep.
negate the entire transaction.
I love it. Okay, so your flesh ward is done. The forces of holy and unholy energy coil around Potter in an impressive light show. Let's turn that off. Okay, that was my action. It is back to your turn. Gao seems to be confused and frustrated.
Well, I could probably end this quickly by enabling an attack.
Could
Okay.
I try the stuff before you do?
Okay.
Just in case Dao is actually alive and this is just a mind control and not a body puppet. Alright, so I want you to resist the remove glamour spell again.
Yep. I'm trying to remember a D12.
Mind, species, academics, deceit. I know it's a long shot, but there's a chance. So I'm
Yeah,
just looking
hang on,
for you
let's
to
see,
not
this was
roll
the-
above 6.
Let's roll the D12s.
Alright.
Yeah.
Have at, Connor. Have at.
Have it.
All right.
You tried your best.
It's the perfect spell. It's just on an irregular.
I would
Okay.
assume I don't get tactics,
Not from
not from Potter.
Potter is
not while he's
reeling.
immobilized and reeling. Yeah.
Well, he's not immobilized. I thought the doctor took
Oh no,
that
I'm
away.
sorry.
But
You're
not
right.
while
He's
he's
not,
reeling.
but he's reeling. Yeah. Yikes. Okay. She will try to dodge. Yeah, we're just gonna do this. None of her options are good. We're just gonna roll the D6. It's a 5. So I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 for damage, 7, 8 for the critical. We're soaking with Dao.
Now
He's
you
soaking
reveal
with
if they're undead or
D8.
not.
And he botches the soak as well. That's fantastic. Yeah, he is undead.
Yeah, because if he's undead, then he's already hurt. So it's also
right. So it's an additional one. It's an overkill. You're free to describe what this overkill looks like, Connor.
I think you're muted.
Uh-oh.
I can
Oh,
see
I
your
was
mouth
pressing the
moving.
wrong button. I was pressing the wrong button like an idiot. Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Yes.
Good. Okay, he basically took the saber, thrust it between Potter and the whatever is riding right
Yeah.
down.
Mm-hmm.
Push it against him, his arm cut with a draw, and then sliced off the head.
Nice. All
And
right.
since we have somebody who's trained in first aid and is a doctor, would they be able to tell how long that he's been dead? Based on,
Yeah.
I guess the ripeness of the body.
Yeah, you're used to seeing in your overkills this like fountain of gore and spray. In this case, instead the meat falls like, you know,
Exsanguinated.
yeah, rotted corpse meat onto the ground. Is a gross greenish purple hue to the muscle and tissue. And yeah, I think the doctor with a cursory examination can say that it's difficult to tell because there's magical preservation involved, but yeah, he's been dead for a good number of days, at least.
Well, he would have to have been dead like before we started traveling, so a few days before like our week of travel.
Yeah. Again, based solely on the evidence, it's been a while, but it's also, if an actual body was left to decay, it would turn rigorous immediately anyway. Not immediately, but like within the first day or so.
Yeah, rigor
So for
mortis.
this whole trick to work, yeah, there needs to be some sort of thing that's keeping the body supple.
Well, the thing
That
is
gross.
that they die and then they stiffen, but after time, the stiffening goes away as well.
Interesting. Okay. So maybe that's what. Well.
So they could have died, gone through the entire rigor mortis process, and just, been the floppy corpse that they would have been afterwards. What is their actual name again?
Ripe Dow?
No,
the bear?
no, the Tanya. It's not Tanya either.
Not Tanya either. No.
Tanya died, and somebody inhabited Tanya's body.
Did they say? I think you did figure this out. So yeah, it's Amelsand, the Queen Mother.
Oh, that's
One who's been
problematic.
pulling all the strings.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, at least that means that she has a physical body somewhere, that she's doing this from a place, because if it was like a disembodied spirit that we could never touch, then
that would be very problematic. Yeah.
Yeah.
She did say we would meet her in the Muir Forest.
Well, I mean, I guess that means that she left. She could mean that she's inhabiting a body in the Muir Forest. Because, I mean, I think the general lore is that Amistad always lives in that swamp. So, either she's in the swamp right now and she's controlling a body in the Muir Forest, and she means it the same way, like, hey, I just met you right now, too. Or she's physically there in the Muir Forest, which seems like a bad tactical play by her.
She is definitely haughty and overconfident.
I mean, she's also a statted person in the.
Yeah.
In the.
You also have to go there anyway, whether or not she's there.
Yeah, no, I'm just considering it because she's a political mastermind. I don't know that she's a tactical mastermind.
So
Right.
quick roundup on things happening here. Who's dying who needs help? Is there anyone left who is at that critical of a stage?
James is dying.
Okay, so first aid, 4 dice, 2 successes. He's good.
Oh, I hate to ask this as like a willy-nilly thing, but you know how you can resurrect the dead? Can you do?
I don't know. It seems like maybe it's a little bit over the. Yeah, I'm gonna do that.
Orpha's
That was my
been.
next question. How many people are dead? And I was waiting to see if Potter was gonna die.
Say, Orpha's been with me since the very first, gang roll. So.
All right.
Right. Anyone who is still dying should now roll their body. What is it? I think it's just like all your stats, right?
I think that's everybody, right? Everybody's been cured of dying by now.
Okay, cool. In that case, yeah, you guys.
Let's do some Lazarus Heart action then.
Yeah, I need to bring Orpha back.
All right. So technically target will here, but
Can't beat D12s on a D6 roll. Actually, I think she's a D8.
no, they need to beat a 3.
Oh,
This
you
is
mean?
versus 3.
Oh, okay. I saw your double 12s. I thought that just meant success.
I think I could do it if they were dead for 2 hours, and 3 if you get a success. So it doesn't matter, but it is funny.
Her will? Okay, she does have improved will, so D8.
Yeah. For posterity.
Fails.
Alright, only within the next 2 hours. But,
Wow.
hey, we got to her in the next, 12 seconds, so we're good. So, dying to fatigued, dead to sick.
Nice. Yep. She opens her eyes and then retches the contents of her stomach out for many minutes, but is alive.
I mean, on one hand,
I'll offer a napkin.
this is a whole lot of God. We have suffered a lot from being in your presence, and at the same time, on the other hand, it's like, yeah, but if we died anywhere else, we'd still be dead.
It's true, right? Like, maybe it makes sense to hang out with you guys just because, yeah, risk of final death goes down considerably.
Like, generically, if I were to ask the question, how many people on the continent can bring someone back to life? The answer would be, nobody has any idea.
Probably the amount of people you can count on one hand, I'd assume. Well, I don't know, actually. Probably, I'd assume there's probably like one of these for every religion. So maybe the amount of people...
One.
So maybe the amount of people you can count on two hands.
Less than 20.
I mean, there's cults out there too, like Gamma Draculism. They're in the book. Maybe they gotta get their call to fame somewhere.
And besides, you get to hang out with the nicest smelling armadillo on the continent.
To be fair, a lot of people did leave Jesus' side too. Like, the dude was
it was because of his puns.
Well, no, I mean...
Definitely the puns.
A very serious angle. Starving people came to Jesus, who was giving out free bread and fish.
Right.
And he started to lecture them about religious matters, and they left.
Yeah, that sounds about right for what's going on.
Yeah, starving people left. Free food. Because of the religious
They didn't like
angle.
being lectured to.
They didn't want to be evangelized to.
Yeah.
So, at a certain angle, yeah, I like being brought back from the dead, but at the same time, I hate the chapbook.
Yeah.
But you still found one in your pockets. Mission accomplished.
Hey, through me, you may have converted an entire town that hates you. So...
Exactly. It's all coming together. Exactly my plan all along. Alright. So needless to say, this cave is not smelling great at this point between
it never did.
Everything.
It never
did.
Worse than usual.
Yeah.
I can go ahead and take Orph off of my losses table now.
In fact, I almost dare say I'm not sure it could get worse.
It is not a great
worse.
place to be.
People could have been defecating in here, which they haven't been. So it could get worse.
One of the irregulars just like, oh my gosh, I shouldn't have had the fish.
I say that out loud. Camera pan over. Guys, cut it out. We sleep in here.
To say, we probably move away from the back end of the cave, bury it to never be seen again. And
this is now an unholy place.
This is how an unholy place starts.
Yeah. It's a lot of real bad smells.
Consecrated for good measure.
I mean, you might as well, because...
It won't help with the smell, but we can bury that.
It was inhabited by the necromancer in the area, so you might as well consecrate it.
Right.
I see no reason not to.
Yeah, and then we try to get whatever fitful sleep we can before the dawn.
Exactly. And there's only a few hours left till dawn. Potter is alive. A little sucker cheated death again. Well done, everyone. And Connor greets the dawn with a choice. He's not sure whether or not to believe the words of Ripe Dow and Amelsand, but he was warned that his family is in grave danger in Ferme Rouge. And yet, that would take him only further away from the forest where the final necromantic circle rests. So that is the choice that is posed to you guys now. How do you want to do this?
Hey,
where do you want to go?
Hey, Connor.
Yes,
Split the party?
we could.
Might as
Party
well.
across the continent.
I mean, one of us is a party of like 13 people on their own.
This is fair.
You have... Look, there's two very important things going on here. And if we think about this less from a game table situation, if this was a Game of Thrones, you know for sure we'd be splitting up into two different groups.
Yeah,
So you probably want to go save your family, is that right?
that is correct.
And I absolutely have to go to the forest. There's no other choice for me unless I start bilocating.
Do you have the experience points and the prerequisite gifts?
Almost.
I mean...
I have to make one more decision, I think. And I was like, oh, do I want to keep this insider? I could definitely get it.
How long does bilocation last again?
Whenever you pray for me and it's for the greater good that I be there, well, I happen to be there.
I mean, that's perfect. It
That is
feels like...
kind of awesome.
It also lasts for about an hour or until nobody sees me anymore.
Right, and that they
If you all
definitely...
turn around, I go away.
You're the invisible kid from Mystery Men.
But that would be a
Nope.
plot thing. That's meta discussion. The
You've
doctor
already-
is going to the forest.
You've
and
already
will
got
later
geography?
perform a miracle.
You already bought geography?
I haven't, no.
Okay, that's one of the prerequisites.
I might at the end of the session.
So you're 20 experience, and you have a lot of shit you probably could sell back.
Yup.
Okay.
So what about you, Sergar? Which
Oh, obviously
direction
I'm
will you
going to
go?
the forest. I've already argued
Okay.
3 or 4 times now that handling the Nast Necromancer thread is the more important thing.
Gotcha. Anushka isn't here to make their decision, so we could go ahead and wait until Rafferty comes back and say they have been with the party that they chose all along.
Well, I
Indeed.
mean, I think we can make generalized statements about Anushka right now that I think nobody would disagree with.
We can make an assumption. Sure.
Yeah, I mean, we can always reverse the assumption if it turns out not to be true.
So what
But
do you think?
I think Anushka would go with Connor because Anushka has always looked up to Connor for all the decisions, and every time they've Connor has said something, Anushka's always said, "I serve with joy." So, also, Anushka has made the flight to Connor's home for Connor many times. It just seems more logical that do what Connor needs to get done or anything else that Anushka in the past has always gone with Connor.
That does make sense. So, if you want to say she's there, but I don't know what we could have her do in any kind of sense and what players are.
She's another sword arm, basically.
Yeah, Anushka is our second best fighter of the group.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
We'll make that assumption for now. Rafferty will come back and clarify. But for now, we at least know where we're going and who's going where.
Do you have clear-headed, Doctor?
No.
Oh, I thought you might have. I would say Aura of Illuminance would actually also be good.
There's a lot of really good ones here.
Well, that's the one that gives you bonus D12 versus not only magic, but unholy, which is what other necromancers are. Also lets you glow in the dark, which is not too shabby.
Hey, look, I can do thaumaturgy too.
What's up, my thaumaturge brethren?
But yeah, it gives you a
Gosh.
bonus D12 to attack an unholy creature, which is every undead.
Yeah.
And a bonus
Guardian
D12 to
Angel
defense.
has been a good one. Inner Fire almost makes perfect sense given how often we're in the mountains about to die. Levitation also has always been like a hilarious thought.
Well, no, levitation is dumb.
Levitation is, I will say, a poor gift to choose experience-wise, but if it were to be awarded, it would be funny.
Well,
That'd be
it's
funny. Yeah.
levitation only lets you go up and down. You have to be acted upon to move side to side.
Right. It's more along the
Nope.
lines of like, yes, I am so spiritually free, I just float up from gravity. Look at me, I am almost definitely a saint. No one else can float just like
You're
this.
David Blaine at that
Yeah.
point. David Blaine, when he does his float trick, doesn't ever move side to side
Mhm.
because he's standing on his tiptoes. It's a camera trick.
Yeah. Yep.
But you'll
That's also
never
how it
know.
works in yeah, it's one of those cases where 5e magic is true to life, real magic, because similarly, you levitate, you don't go side to side, you just float up in the air. It's kind of silly.
Well, I mean, levitation is very much. We live in a world of people who can fly already.
Yeah, that's a
But
fair
flying
point.
without any other ability to is still impressive, I would
Again,
posit.
levitate's not flying. Levitate is going up and down.
It's flying without drifting.
You would have to have, like, I guess you'd have
Moving
to be
without traveling.
an elementalist wizard using wind to push yourself around.
Mhm. I will say, I did consider getting it while we were on the cliffs and just going, alright, they've thrown me off the cliff, I now levitate.
That's pretty cool.
You remember, was it Star Trek II, the very beginning, when Spock has the levitation boots and he just goes up the mountainside?
Mhm.
It'd be like that, but without being able to move forwards.
I mean, it
Yes.
would mostly be like a "Hey, I'm back, bitches" kind of moment where they're like, "Wait, did we throw you off this mountain?" And you're just like,
Well,
Nope.
what I'm indicating here is that if the mountain has an incline
"Yeah, I
and
know."
it moves away
You
from
wouldn't-
you, you'd have to
You
have
wouldn't be
like a
able to get back.
grappling hook. Yeah, you'd have
Yeah,
to
you wouldn't be able to
grapple
get
hook
back
your way
on
in.
the mountain, but you
Yeah.
could do a real cool like "I'm back," and then
I
maybe
think
they run away.
Gravity
And
has
then...
at least like indicated before, like a lot of the funny stuff with miracles is that without other context, it could just be a bunch of people making stuff up. Like, yeah, I saw him over here. It's like, no, I saw him over here on that day. It's like, well, two people could just be wrong.
Right.
We have the levitation mirrors. We could just say like, oh, he survived an attack no one could have. He must have a guardian angel. It's like, no, someone just slipped. That's all. So there's a lot of confusion about whether or not it could or could not be happening. The doctor just smells really nice, and everyone's like, "It's a miracle."
It's a miracle.
So
Yeah, I
that's
got to
half the fun of
imagine.
it.
Oh,
I got to imagine that during the Middle Ages, smelling really nice felt a lot more magical than...
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh. We've actually set up the perfect scenario for like the tale later of Saint someone else we're going to put down for this. And it's going to be, was he over here? Was he over here? It's a miracle.
Well, that's my favorite.
No
The
one else can possibly
bilocation.
confirm
Well, the
that he
thing
was
about-
out
Yeah,
in the
right.
middle of the woods at the time.
the thing to remember about bilocation is it's also a chapter gift, so 1 hour per chapter.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
I
So,
was not certain about that. That is good to know.
I mean, it still plays
Good to
out to
know.
the
It makes
advantage
sense.
that you'd be able to take place in both fights. Because it seems
Exactly.
unlikely that both fights
yeah,
are.
it is.
It seems
I was
unlikely
trying to
that
do
both fights are going to last over an hour. So
Right.
you'll still be able to help both parties. Although, do you have any other gifts that are like time based?
A lot.
I mean, well, my thought is, what happens if we have both fights at the same time? Because your copy still uses you as the base. So if you use a gift, the other one can't use it until it's refreshed.
Right, so I would only be, like, fortifying one person with, Flesh Ward at a time, basically.
Right, and
On
since
either
we
side.
don't have,
Right.
Though, if the idea is, like, they're happening at the exact same time, that would be a funny coincidence given they're happening across the
well,
continent.
it doesn't have to happen at the same time. If it happens on
Yeah.
the same day, and you
Yeah.
have those daily refresh ones where you have to pray at a certain time, and we don't have a thought sending person, then we
One
would.
group gets healing, that's it.
Well, we have said we don't have a thought sending person, so literally opposite ends of the continent. We wouldn't be able to coordinate at all.
Oh, actually, this
this
would be a
comes-
good point, actually, too, for magic stuff. Sir Connor, before you go, I can in fact attempt to use my blessed magic to rally you right now, and within the next where is it? Uh Within the next chapter, you can be rallied automatically with 2 successes.
Oh, that's
That's
cool.
pretty cool.
I would need 3 successes on 4 dice. Oh,
You just rolled
I
3
rolled only
dice. Yeah.
I can keep refreshing this and trying at least.
Oh, okay. If it's
Yep.
if it's a refresh thing, then you can just succeed.
Yeah, because like the way of tranquility gift I have is basically don't be in combat defending yourself, which that's the way I
Yeah.
chose it for this one. I could have chose a better one. So for this specifically, Sir Connor, when you were at your lowest, just think of me, head towards the light. Wait, no, well, just reinvigorate your spirit.
You know, pain in the ass thought I just thought of. My druid guy, his druid special ability is that he can rally to give people a bonus to the end of turn shit, right?
Oh yeah, the end of
You
turn
know what
dying
an end of
roll.
turn shit roll is? Immobilized.
Yeah,
Nope.
that counts too.
Yeah, and he's a team player, so his end of roll bonus is a d12.
Mm.
So
Damn,
all those
that would
people
be
with
really handy.
immobilized. Yeah, unfortunately, he also
Didn't have to be
had.
immobilized.
Unfortunately, he also had the only dispel unreal thing. So had to
Yeah.
try.
Yeah, here, I'm gonna just put it in chat.
Cool. So okay, I want to talk about bilocate. I guess I should probably pull up the wording on this because I
Yeah.
have.
We could do it a bit more as a debrief if you want to.
Yeah, no, that's true. We're in the final hour, and we're about to split the party in a major way and
Yeah,
embark on 2 things that might be huge
I think
endeavors.
the only thing that would come up here that's not part of the discussion about the Mirror Forest and Connor's home is I'm dropping off that gift to the Baron.
Right. Yes.
We are doing it along the way, so yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's the only non-super important thing that I just want to make sure happens.
Right. Yes. It does. So you guys are making the journey down the walls of Calabria to the monastery, right? And then making your way over to the Via Salutis, right? Our favorite road. I don't remember what this arrow was for, so I'm going to remove it. Okay. Yes. So when you get to the Baron Ashton's fort, up here, you guys travel along the road. You're trying to make haste. At this point in the story, I will assume that Connor and Anushka potentially have gone the opposite directions, rushing to Femerouge, right?
Yep.
Right.
To see what has become of his family. So it's just the doctor, address, and company. But when you get there, you see that there seems to be a large caravan of sorts camped within the outer wall of the Baron's fort. And you can see that the tents and their flags, they're flying the colors of Triskellion and of the Rinaldi Jakoba throne.
Quick, doctor, put on the robes. Wait, not the robes. Hide yourself.
Hide yourself.
Take off the robe.
A nudist.
Somebody rub shit on
No,
this man.
I put on a plain t-shirt.
No, actually, I'm being serious about people rubbing shit on you, but not on you, probably on the clothes. You need to smell like everyone else. you need to smell like everybody else, doctor.
God damn your beautiful aroma.
I think I'll be fine.
Well, then we probably should not travel together.
All right.
So just don't stand near me.
Stand here for 5 minutes and then follow forwards.
Yeah, give Colette my regards.
Did we leave her here?
Yes.
Yeah, you guys did. So she's still here. She's training, I forget the name of the rabbit captain guard who wanted to learn
Very
magic.
grumpy rabbit.
The grumpy rabbit. Okay.
That's the name of my new bar.
The grumpy rabbit. So yes, as you seek an audience with Lord Ashton Bennett, you find that he is currently entertaining a retinue of Triskellion guard, including one Calpurnia, the sly red fox who, well, some of you have met before.
I haven't.
You haven't, so you don't really know her, but Lord Ashton welcomes you in and says, "Ah, Sir Gar, I trust that the reinforcements that I sent conducted themselves honorably and were an enormous help in the effort. So saith some of the reports that have come back."
Indeed, in fact, so much so that Baron Milgard sends a treasure of his own back as thanks for all the good deeds done by you and your forces.
Well, now, who would have believed we'll
this-
say,
This is the
mountain
moment where I
lord?
hope, having not investigated this entire time, that we don't present a box and it turns out to be an explosive.
Yep. He starts to now. He knows how to play the game. No. The
Bandits before tactic.
right. No, it is actually sturdy ale. And the Baron seems pleased. He says, "Ah, yes. Well, would you please stay with us, Adris, and partake in some of this ale? I have not yet tried the Doloro brew, but I've heard good things. Wouldn't you stay as well, my lady Calpurnia?" And the fox narrows her eyes at you. Not sure if she recognizes your... Actually, I guess, was she there during the execution? Maybe not. Yeah, she probably has no idea who you are. But she nods graciously and says, "I'm afraid, my dear Baron, my business compels me not to take any further advantage of your hospitality. We are needed to the west in an urgent matter, my captives and I. Although I do thank you for allowing us a small respite. If you wouldn't mind provisioning those items that I requested, I will take my leave before nightfall."
Actually, Lady Calpurnia, may I have a word?
Ears perk up. She says, "Yes, and you are, I think I've heard of your family. I assume she can tell by your dress, right?
Well,
I don't
I
know.
fly colors.
Your flag colors, right?" So she says, "Yes, House Gar, often long an ally of the guild and of Triskellion, although I have not made the acquaintance or had the honor of your father." But she still bows low and says, "What is it that I can do?"
Oh, I was in court not too long back. I guess you weren't in Triskellion at the time.
I had other business to attend to, unfortunately. I've just now returned from the mountain.
Yes, I also have just returned from White Ridge. It's how I, was not surprised to see the flags of Triskellion flying here. Though I must admit, based on what Baron Milgard told me had happened, I assumed that you would have been en route to Three Corners Fort. So it is of some middling surprise to have encountered you here.
She gets a wry smile across her face, seeing that you have taken an interest in her affairs. And she says, quite well. Unfortunately, the business that I conduct is of a clandestine nature. We will return to the fort once we have completed our set task.
Tell me,
Unfortunately,
does it involve a region just past Harrogate?
Ooh. Her expression turns chilly, and she says, "Unfortunately, I am not at discuss these matters. They are of, of kingdom security, and much as I would like to, it would be a breach of my honor."
Could I breach a hypothetical conversation to you then?
Actually, my lord, I feel like this conversation is inappropriate. We would not want to sully the Baron's chambers with such political rambling. Perhaps you wouldn't mind joining me in my chambers for a moment, and we can continue this discussion in private.
Sure. Allow me to at least grab a sifter of this fine ale to bring with me.
Suit yourself. Bennett nods. He says, "It is no imposition, but please do make your farewells before departing, Lady Calpurnia. This has been an honor to have you visit us. And as always, we are pleased to support the king in any endeavor that we may." Calpurnia will lead you back to where she's staying in the fort, flanked on either side by two Triskellion guard who, are unmistakable based on their full plate arraignments. Once the door has closed and it's just, I don't know actually, if you'd probably be welcome to bring some retinue of people with you as well, although probably couldn't fit many of them in this room.
I mean, it's probably I match force with force.
Right,
so
that makes sense.
If she's got two guards on her side, then I bring the Merlina sisters. But if we're leaving everybody outside the door, then it's just one of those scenarios where two of her guards are sitting in front of the door, and my two bodyguards are just sitting there staring at them.
Just having a stare down. Yeah, you know what? That's exactly what goes down. She says, if you wouldn't mind, again, matters of security, and she will invite you into her chambers alone with the bodyguards outside. Once the door is shut, she will walk across the room and wheel on you. You can see that she wears a rapier at her belt, and she has fencing gloves on.
I've given away all of my weapons.
Yes, so you're unarmed.
I have hidden daggers still. I never get rid of those. I've only used them twice in the entire character's lifetime so far.
Well, she's not making any kind of move for aggression, but you can see that she has a venomous, suspicious glare that she's turned on you. And she says, "What is it that you think you know about me and my mission?"
To be honest, not that much as I thought at first. I thought your goals were aligned towards a more political manner, but the direction you're heading and what I know of the state of the world as it is makes me believe that you're working towards a different end. Might I just say, again, if I could just pose to you a hypothetical. If I were to say, be upset about something in your service, and I wished to bring this up to noble court, who would your commanding officer be that I would then seek to reprimand you? Hypothetically.
She says, well, perhaps you have not heard the news, but you speak to the new captain of the Royal Guard. Those above me are...
So they found a replacement for De La Vega.
At his name and the way that you utter it, you can sense the slightest bit of offense. And she straightens and says, "Yes, the Honorable De La Vega, who recently was slain by, by members of a certain rebellious faction. This faction and the dealing and their disposal is precisely the mission that I currently am on."
Now, I see you got angry when I mentioned his name. Why is that specifically? Do you just not like hearing it anymore?
Her tail twitches irritably, and she says, I'm not angry.
Okay, it's a good cover that you're giving me now, but you understand that people have a number of tells that they give when they're lying or they're trying to hide information.
She takes a sharp breath in and shakes her head, and then tries to change the subject. She says, Sir Gar, you seem to be a nosy sort, but what you have said to this point would not be considered treasonous to this point. I do caution you, though, you are treading on dangerous ground, on thin ice, as it were. I urge you to return to your business and ask no further questions.
Glancing about the room, and knowing what I know so far, does she come from a noble family?
Ooh, yeah, I think she does. I think she's,
I know I called her lady earlier in the beginning, but that was
yes.
just complimentary. I didn't know if I was actually addressing her in the proper title.
No, and the Baron called her lady as well. I think she does come from a family, the Pucci family. I don't think that they're not a major house in Triskellion, but they are a noble line. And I guess you wouldn't know this, so I won't
Right. I don't
say
have
any more than that.
I don't have heraldry specifically, so.
Yeah.
But at the same time, reading colors is basically easy. It's just knowing what the colors represent, the families behind it. So being able to tell someone's a noble is easier than knowing what the background information is. Okay. I think you misregard my intent. I'm only really asking these questions because I believe that we might be acting towards common purpose. And I'm really just trying to judge the waters as to whether that's true or not. I have been out here acting on my own recognizance, basically saving the continent from a number of evils. Now, I guess this is where I'm really trying to hold my tongue towards what might be treasonous and what might not be treasonous.
Right, you walk a fine line.
Now, I ask where your orders might be coming from, because we might actually be working at opposite ends. The fact that you've brought, well, I don't know how else to say it, the rabble with you, the crazy people that believe that they're following the ghost of the king, really makes me confused, because if I think we are up to what you are, then they have no presence here. Unless, and I feel like I'm having a thought in the moment, you're not sacrificing them, are you?
I would like you to make a roll. She doesn't say anything, but I would like to get a mind and inquiry to get a sense. And I think it's going to be contested. I'm going to roll I guess what would that be? Like mind and deceit? I'm going to roll 2d10. Next try call upon the blessing. But if you think that, then I'm thinking that you think you are. Yep.
Any chance I can include seduction into this?
I don't see why not. If you'd like to. Well, wait. Okay, sorry.
No. She's married to her job.
I do have an end goal of this, and it doesn't mean the night alone.
Yes, it's not. I would say there is room for seduction in this encounter, but in this specific role, you're trying to read her expression, and I don't think seduction plays into it. There's nothing that you will lose based on this role. It's just how much you can gain from her body language that will betray her true intentions. If you can figure that out, you could still try to use other means to maybe get this information, but just now, posing your hypothesis to her, she might give something away. She might. We're going to see. We're going to roll 2d10.
And obviously nobility isn't going to help me here.
Jesus. H.
Yeah, I don't think I can beat that at all. Let me just quickly look back. My mind
You gotta have a D12 in there somewhere.
is not a D6, and my inquiry is not that high either. I can't pass that no matter what.
Okay. So, you search her expression for any clues to betray her thoughts, right? As you lay this out in front of her, and nothing. She's like a statue. She gives a little, like a chuckle, and then says, Sir Gar, you are far more clever than you appear. I'll give you that. However, I am not at liberty to discuss these matters. The fate of the rabble, as you call them, is none of your concern.
I
is
care
my
not
mission.
for the fate of the rabble. It's the actions that you're taking which have me, not so much alarmed, but curious. I have to wonder how often it is that you talk to a person whose body seems to change all the time.
This is how the rolls go.
Right. I understand that I'm not reading anything from her, but I am constantly now pitching her information that might be relevant. Has nothing to do with her roles, because that's just if I can read her.
Right.
She can still respond.
Yeah. Okay. So the last thing that you said was you suggested you were wondering what the Children of the Shade had to do with all of this. You did posit that maybe she was sacrificing them.
Well,
And
the
then
last
she-
thing I said was that I wonder how often you're receiving orders from a person whose body changes.
Oh, is that the thing you're referring to?
Lady Amistad,
yes. Okay, gotcha. Right. Okay. She's going to deflect that one as well. I am not sure what it is that you're trying to say, Sir Gar. You are...
You know, I interrupt her just flat out. It's just you and me in this room. At the end of the day, neither of our houses play a major part in the orders of the Triskellion court. If you want to pull a treasonous card against me, I assure you we will mire that shit in a court for the rest of your life. But for now, it's just the two of us here in this room. I believe that you're working with the Necromantic Order and are heading to the Mirror Forest as we speak.
Okay. And she says, and if I am, what of that? I guess she says,
I would hope at the very least you would not be so cowardly as to deny it. You are here with the force of Triskellion behind you. I am but a individual noble traveling with a retinue of friends. I don't think there's much threat to be had, especially if what you and I both know to be true.
Certainly you pose no threat. But I have no reason to admit anything to you. I wonder if this is true. What does it mean to you? What do you hope to gain? This feels like the beginning of some sort of proposition, and I'm just waiting for your offer.
I assure you the proposition comes later. A beautiful woman like yourself, unmarried, noble house. I'm sure that there's a lot we can do together. But that's for later in the evening, before you disembark.
My. Okay, well, it sounds like we're getting to the point where, to reach a resolution on this, we should make a roll, and it sounds like seduction should probably be a part of that roll. And just so that we're clear on the parameters here, you want her to confess to either tell her your mission or at least confirm or deny what you've already posited, right?
Right, I assume that she's intelligent enough not to give more information away.
And I
Indeed.
believe the assumption here is that if she is basically against our purposes, to forego that and join you, essentially.
No, I'm not trying to.
Yeah, we didn't get there yet.
Yeah, no, this is just a.
Okay, that's next step then.
Yeah, no, this is like the spy movie thing of we're having a conversation over a card game of some sort. And
Yeah.
this is just us going back and forth and confirming that, hey, I'm sitting across the table from the bad guy.
Yeah, basically. So I'm thinking, sorry.
I was like, Gar, I'm more than likely to side with them and leave you behind just so that we have an inside man in their operation to foil them later.
The poor doctor's gonna be walking all on his own. I sure hope he isn't some irregular stick.
Well, yeah, I mean, if I have to run off with them, I can leave some irregulars behind because they have
Right.
no idea of the scope of the people that I'm traveling with.
Yeah.
Right. Okay, so for the role, I would suggest, I think this is a great social scene, and you're doing like a mental game, but you're also using your suave. I think mind, will, and negotiation makes sense. I think contested versus her mind, will, and deceit, ultimately.
How long is this conversation going on for?
Actually, will, deceit, and negotiation to resist an interrogation. It's not exactly the same thing, but this is an extended conversation. More than 5 minutes. So.
I was going to say, joke's on you, it doesn't matter. I have fast talk and diplomacy.
And diplomacy, so take your bonus either way.
So yeah. Seduction.
So she's rolling 3d10. And you're going to roll all your big guns.
Unfortunately, I'm the only one in the room drinking. She's not a criminal, is she?
No.
Yeah, technically this is state-sponsored crime, so that makes it legal.
Yep. Trying to think if there's any other angles.
Yeah, again, we're both
You
nobles.
don't have insider with anybody. You could, right?
Nope.
There's nobility.
I mean, we're both nobles, so we
kind of
both
cancels out.
Yeah, we both respect. I mean, it doesn't really because I got probably way more nobility than she does, but again, I guess that's another reveal since we're coming up to the end. Hey guys, at the moment I have 5 gifts of nobility.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
It went crazy.
You are, in fact, the true king.
You're the true king, right?
Touch that sword and it will glow.
I'm the heir to a minor house, avoiding the responsibility of taking over from his father.
Incidentally, is the true king. At 5, you cannot be anything less.
Well, me and Red,
we did have we had a
conversation about how many gifts would represent it if we were going off of that, which isn't really what we were doing. So we ranked from the bottom nobility up to the top. So 5 is what I decided was where a minor house heir would be.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So
that's why I wasn't afraid of going to court and losing.
Right.
Yeah, I don't think anything else is going to come out here. You know what?
Okay.
It's late in the session. I'll throw in personality.
Oh yeah, if you haven't used it yet.
I'm proud.
You are proud. This shows. I'm going to roll mine. Here comes 3d10. 8 high.
I got a 12.
There's that 12. All right. Okay. Maybe it's your stature or status, your way with words, or your general cocksure attitude, but she does seem charmed by you. A small smile plays at the corner of her mouth, and she says, "Very well. I won't deny any of these claims that you've raised against me. I do intend to travel west towards the Mere Forest. This is where we will dispose of our captives, the children of the Shade. It is, of course, state business. I can't imagine a wandering dilettante such as yourself would have any concerns in these matters.
I take a long swig of the ale, put it down on a nearby table, take a step in. So, start doing the seduction moves. I reach out to the side of her neck and say, "Yes, but I've already heard what Baron Milgard has told me. And I must ask," and I, lean in close, "what you intend to do with the sword."
Beautiful. Okay. Oh yeah. So she feigns ignorance what sword, but it's quite clearly an act. And maybe it's the distraction of the heat of the moment, um but yes, you can just tell from her expression that she has the sword, and it's with them somewhere here in the fort, in the camp.
Right. It was, I guess it's not the play that I wanted to make, but at least recognize that she knows the sword exists and it's a thing that she needs to, anyways, fade to black because, that's when I
Oh
start
yeah,
making the moves that are too rated for Twitch.
indeed. This is also interesting because while they were planning to depart within like the hour, seems like they're going to be staying a little bit longer, which
They're noticeably
delayed, which does mean that I don't know if the doctor wants to get up to any shenanigans himself, but you do also have access to the fort. I mean, maybe you stayed outside as to not draw attention to yourself. That's also possible. But...
I do have low profile, and given that the person who might notice me is not there, I could probably at least go around. I also have insider with the Baron here too.
Oh yeah,
So it's
there
like
you
I'm a
go.
welcome guest. I can come in through the side. I'll go talk to Colette for a little bit, see how she's been doing, and do any other checkups. And I'll probably get like a little bit to the tone of like, oh yeah, they're outside. They've been preparing. They're going west. Huh, that's suspicious. That's probably like the tune of what's happening, I imagine.
I like it. Okay, so as you walk around, putting on your casual, Columbo thing, right? You eventually catch the sight of Colette, who will, approach you with a concerned look on her face and say, "Doctor, I'm glad to see you've returned from your adventures in One Piece, and well,
I may have gained a few
not
more
dead."
pieces while I've been out. And then just like pat stomachs. It's like, yep, been eating well.
Oh, I love it. Okay. Um, she says, "I will, well, if you don't mind," and she kind of pulls you to the side, sort of like behind one of the outhouse buildings in the fort. She says,
Secret talk.
"Doctor, I'm not sure if you're aware, a woman has arrived, the torturer from Three Corners Fort, and they have brought prisoners with them."
A fox lady, right?
Yes, indeed.
Ugh, dreadful person. She's starting to snap my fingers once.
I fear she's done much worse things, and, well, even worse news. They brought with them several captives. They are the bandits, the children. Right now they're being held in Ashton's dungeon. I don't know when they plan to leave or what their plans are for them. I tried to get close enough to speak with them, but they keep them under constant guard. I don't know what is to become of them, but we must do something.
Oh, yes. What is to be done? Red, flashback, if you would mind. We did, in fact, go. We were on the Via Salutis. We were in the area to talk to the Chroma Bandits.
Yes, you were. That you were.
I would like the doctor to have stopped and tried to talk to them and go, there is a terrible thing happening. If it happens, lots of people will die. And it probably has to do with basically all the people you hate, i.e., the people who are currently ruling the country and burn down all your stuff.
Oh, well, that's all you had to say. They're like, what's in it for us? Oh, revenge against the upper
Revenge, would
class?
you like?
Sure. Hell yeah, we've done it
So-
before, we'll do it again.
Right, so I will tap Insider to the extent of they have been traveling behind us and are somewhere adjacent and will probably continue on with us later.
I love it.
So I'll go. Well, I do have a pack of thieves who could maybe get something done, but, well, I think the Baron still has my ear. And he hasn't changed his mood lately, has he?
No, not particularly. He's getting drank on mountain wine.
Hmm.
Mountain
They-
ale.
They do have an allegiance, though, and of course the children are, of course, in light of the current governance, treasonous. So I doubt he will simply allow them
Yeah.
to. Leave.
Has been public summary execution, making an example of people. This is Colette rambling, by the way. But there's nothing to be gained that I can think of for taking them into Bisclavre lands.
Indeed. It's all the stranger. You know where we're going. We're going to the Muare Forest. His last stop, and we have already been taunted by the foul necromancer who will be there.
Colette shudders at
I
the
know.
mention.
Two good people she's already taken control of and used just to mock us.
It is a defilement of all that is good.
She is in the torture, the Red Fox. She was aligned with De La Vega's motives. I wonder, has this all just been a conspiracy all along?
Conspiracy? To what end?
Yes. I'm not sure, really. Perhaps just death and destruction for its own sake? Madness? I don't know what she has to gain from any of it, but she is following orders if so. Oh, what do we do here? I must find a way to rescue them. Perhaps I can find more. My friend seems busy right now.
Do you hear moans of pleasure emanating from the second story of one of the one of the barracks? No, you don't. That would be uncouth.
Okay.
Yeah, but he is occupied.
Oh, I do. I think perhaps I have a plan then.
Oh, well, if there's anything that I can do, I have ingratiated myself with the staff here. I might be able to help get you access to places you would not normally be allowed. I'm at your disposal, Doctor.
That would be excellent, actually. We need to get a few men in through a side. Perhaps they can perform a break before anyone realizes it.
She stands back and she says, "It never ceases to impress me your courage for a man of the cloth, for an unassuming sort as yourself. Truly, within you beats the heart of a brave warrior, Doctor." And she gives you a peck on the cheek.
The doctor will blush and turn. It's like, no, I'm no warrior. I just can't stand the idea of these people suffering. Or of any.
Indeed. Nor can I. She lifts her hem slightly and sets off to her business of arranging a distraction, or at least a way for you to get your chroma bandits into the fort.
Yep. And with their help, the Chroma Bandits can probably do the job. I am not really sneaky or otherwise. However, I could probably assist in some amount of distraction.
Okay, fair enough. This is
Or at least give leadership. I could give them a good plan.
Gotcha.
And a good rally. Inspiration.
This is a jailbreak attempt, right?
Yes.
Okay. It's not going to be easy. But we've got maybe 10 minutes, 5 to 10 minutes. We could probably just, if you wanted to abstract it to a roll, we could see what you could do with that.
Okay. My call here, or at least what I would like to ask for, would be will and leadership to inspire them to act properly, maintain discipline, and go out and do their thing.
Yeah,
They
I'm
have
good
the
with
skills
that.
they need to pull it off.
Right. If you can do that, you'll give them a D12 leadership to whatever the group roll will make for them is.
Okay. So I'll go ahead and do
And to
3d12.
remind, we still have that bilocation talk to have.
Oh, yes, we
Yes.
have the bilocation at the end. Let's talk about that later. So, here's my attempt to lead them properly. 1,
Damn.
2, 3, 4.
Jesus. Okay, yeah.
Something only a true leader could do.
It is, you have a true leader indeed. So, they when you spoke to them back in the woods, at first it was sort of like they regarded you in a sort of like a casual, familiar way, but as you start to impress upon them the importance of your mission, you can see that they feel inspired. They're inspired by the cause and by the gravity that you bring to these things. So they're actually like operating like a well-oiled machine now, like almost with like military precision. So I'll
You
take
see,
a
you had it
D12.
within yourself all along. They've looked down upon you, but it is truly you who is the backbone of this country. And it is the stand
Beautiful.
here that shall cause good to prevail.
Okay. So
Alright, maybe it's over the top, but you all get
that's
the idea.
I'm sorry, yeah. It's not that. It's just
In
me.
character,
I'm
in
doing
character, you all get the idea.
you all get the idea. They puff out their chests. They stand a little bit taller. I'm just doing the mental arithmetic now about what I think they should be rolling against for a jailbreak and what they'll actually be rolling dice wise. Certainly speed and stealth. I think your D12 should be included as well. We're saying there's an indeterminate number of bandits. There's an indeterminate number of guards.
Right, and it's more to the point they are trying to do this fast before they're caught up into a big ol' fight.
Exactly. The nice thing is that none of you will necessarily be implicated if this goes wrong. I think it's going to be risky, though. You're talking about infiltrating a fort, even with their way in. They're breaking into a dungeon, essentially, getting people and getting out. I think if we're going to abstract that down to dice, we're going to be rolling against 2d10. I think they're rolling 2d6 for their speed and stealth, plus your d12 for your brilliant plan and distraction. Is there anything else you think you can throw in on that?
Alright, so you said speed, stealth. Do they actually have the stealth gift? I was trying to look it up real quick.
I'll give them a stealth a gift.
Okay, so we're looking at 2d6, 2d12 at the moment.
You mean if you're talking about the stealth skill, I'll say yes, they're bandits. I think stealth makes some sense
Yeah,
for
they
them.
definitely have the skill. I was just wondering about the gift, because that would help them out a lot.
Is there a stealth gift that gives them stuff?
I might have
Bonus
sabotage.
D12?
Yeah, there is. There's a
I
gift.
believe you. I don't know what it is. Let me look it up.
They might have a skill relevant to breaking, entering, and not being seen.
Right, yeah, right. Sabotage.
279. Sabotage, yeah, actually, yeah, because they're breaking into something that will have locks. Sabotage is actually relevant. That's
I
all we
like
need,
that.
and we could roll with that.
And
So,
that's they would need streetwise, but they're bandits, so they definitely have it.
yeah.
Bonus D12 to defeat locks and traps. Beautiful. Yep, we'll give them that.
Alright,
So we'll give them a
so
bonus D12
2d6,
for that as well.
2d12 right now, that right?
That's right.
Alright, let's give it a go.
I
Let's
got
see if they can
2d10.
do any good. 4, 4, 7, 6. 4 successes.
Let's see what we got. Are we doing this? We want to do this resisted, so we're counting successes. Well, if we're counting
I
successes, you would just
suppose
win. Because I'm only rolling 2 dice.
that is true. So why don't you go ahead and roll? Let's see how it goes, and we'll try to interpret it.
Right, we'll do the margin. Okay. How good did they do? Okay, they got
5
2
and 6.
successes. All right. So to me, I think that is they managed to let's get a little narrative with this. Okay, under the cover of darkness, there is a loud crash somewhere within the fort. The soldiers will scurry over to the site of the incident to discover it is the doctor and Colette have managed to knock over one of the wood piles or something like that. Something that is not actually that consequential. Meanwhile, in the dungeons, moving like shadows, a number of bandits, weasels, squirrels slip from shadow to shadow. The children of the shade are locked in various cages, along with the gray fox Fabrizio, who is, or Twitch as he's known, who is just shivering with fear and glancing around. They manage to free the lock on Frederick's cell door and get the tiny owl out. He's limping, but they get him to his feet. Several of his men, 3 of his men as well. At which point they can hear the sound of guards behind them, the jingling of keys, the who goes there? And they make a break for it. So with their 2 successes, Fabrizio and 2 other Shade's children flee the fort to safety. It says Fabrizio. I mean the owl, Frederick. Frederick and the Shade's children get out. They still have Fabrizio captive inside his cage.
Well,
But
they've done all they can, and they are out.
they're out.
There's
And
been
no
a
one got
hubbub.
caught.
The bandits retreat into the forest again. And
Yeah.
there's at least one good deed done.
Damn it, Doctor.
Need-
That was a slap in the face. You understand that we are the gang named opposite of those guys for a reason. Those are the chromic bandits, and we are the achromic bandits.
And I'm mixing them all together.
You gotta choose. You gotta choose a side.
Yeah.
This is the Sharks versus the... God, I can't remember West Side Story anymore.
But it was only possible because of Ugar.
The Egyptian kings. What were the? It was the Sharks and the Jets.
Yeah. You gotta pick a side.
The Capulets and the Montagues?
No, I'm not
Indeed.
marrying you, Doctor. Well, to be fair, they didn't get married, did they?
No, wait, no, they did get married.
All right,
They
Doctor.
just
If
What
you,
do you think
died
going to
shortly
the forest
after.
is gonna be?
Doctor, if you kill yourself first, no, I'm not gonna play that game with you. You have Lazarus Heart.
No, I have resurrection. I can come back
Yeah.
after you die and then lament your actual death and then die again.
Yeah,
and
the,
then bring
works
you
out
back
perfect.
to life, and then
yeah,
it's just a
the
terrible
comedy
cycle.
that actually happens there. Yeah, I took just enough poison to be dead for a minute. See that you're dead, then stabbed myself in the chest.
It turns out he wasn't dead, resurrects you, but then dies. Yeah, okay.
So there's
Okay.
a lot of consequences to go over here, and we'll cover Connor next.
Yeah. we're going to talk more about this. Don't think we got any. Did we get any goals? What's the goal? No,
Determine
we got
the
goals in
fate
play
of
though.
Twitch of the Children of the Shade. That probably is off the
Oh.
table.
Yeah, you know what? That was the wording of it, because I'll give it to you.
Oh, okay.
If that's the wording we were going with, I had a different wording written down here, but I'm just
Sorry, I froze again. My computer is dying today.
Yeah, it's just not having a good day of it.
By the
So
way, the easy way to tell if I'm frozen is now I conveniently have the fan in the background.
right,
So
yeah,
when it stops moving,
so you know.
Yeah.
yeah.
Got one last thing to cover here.
Well,
See if we
it
can
sounded
stick
like you were
together.
talking about goals.
Yeah, goals.
Yes. So I'm gonna give you guys determine the fate of what did you say it was?
Fate of Twitch and the Children of the Shade is what I have written here.
If that's the wording you've got, then I'll give it to you. I had different wording on my end, but
All I have is Twitch. I have nothing about Shade kids.
Gotcha. Well, that's good enough. You do know what became of him, even though he's
Oh, did
changed hands a
did
couple
we
times.
change the text of the goal?
This goal has undergone a lot of changes, and I honestly can't remember.
Well, I mean, the last
Oh.
thing that I have was confirming his legitimacy or something like that. Not
Right. That's not even
not saving him per se or anything.
gotcha. So maybe this was a new goal that I created and then handed. Because
I
on my
have-
list,
Maybe.
I have frozen so many times. You could have given a goal away, and I wouldn't have heard it.
maybe didn't know.
That's why I'm trying to confirm now, as I only have 2 goals on my sheet. And the only one
Okay.
regarding Twitch still confirm his legitimacy.
All right.
We
Well, you
changed
can.
Go ahead, Ark.
We changed that to determine the fate of Twitch and the Children of the Shade.
Okay, again, that must have been when I
Yeah.
was frozen. All right.
Okay.
Yeah. So you guys can collect on that goal.
What's the reward?
I know.
Good question.
Good question. Now
I'm willing
We've
to
already-
take 5 experience because I'm about to need it.
yeah.
There is no goal. There is no... Ironclaw doesn't have a get married gift.
As a gift.
There are so many games where it is.
I would
Vampire.
honestly say given nobility, just like literally another rank of nobility for you.
Vampire is a game where you can get married, and it has
Yeah.
a whole talent or gift or whatever it's called in that game. We did it in our Blood
Oh
and
yeah,
Wine.
yeah, like the side merits, yeah.
Yeah, Iron Liz, and my character.
This-
Yeah, our characters got married by blood
Nice.
because it only gave so many good benefits. It's like, why
A
not?
blood marriage. Why not? I do like that kind of stuff because it's one of those like really juicy narrative things that also is cool when it ties into mechanical stuff.
Well, it's like,
I like that.
both characters get the benefits of like the social merits of the one who has the best. So it's like you improve the other person to a degree of yourself.
Yeah, you become a pair basically, which is
Yeah.
pretty cool.
Where's the character stuff?
So clearly the doctor becomes ordained.
Right.
Saint
Um,
Beefeaton. Saint Larson.
Saint Elsewhere.
Aren't you Saint Dick? I mean, seriously, that's what you are. Aren't you?
Yeah, that's right actually. This character and universe will continue to be mocked by middle schoolers throughout the ages.
We're coming to the end of this campaign, mild spoilers. So I'm going to offer something a little more juicy. I'm going to offer knack for endurance. I don't think that's something anyone has yet,
Cool,
right?
5 XP it is.
5 XP.
I mean, I'm never gonna reach my one-day hope of magic.
That would mean I actually have endurance now, which is definitely something.
Something, you get a point for it.
Mhm.
Okay, so there's that. The other thing... Well, no. Okay. So yeah. So that's it for goals for the time being. You should also have the goal of rescue Connor's family and of destroy the last necromantic circle.
Didn't have to rescue the family one.
Okay, save Connor's family is also a goal, so you can down.
Definitely gonna need to do a restart after the game.
Yeah.
Okay. The thing that I wanted to look up on the topic of by location.
Page 35.
In my page 35?
Yep.
335?
Page 30. Well, I mean, did you like tape all of your books together?
No, but I have them all individually, and
Because I hate to be that. Yeah, I was saying.
Yeah, there.
I hate to be that
I've got
guy.
like super.
But the combination page numbers of the entire series is cute now. But sometimes you actually need to know what fucking page it is.
It made more sense when it was.
I mean, I
physical
like
books,
it. I guess when it's.
which is what you have.
Well, yeah, right.
So
on
if you
PDFs,
have-
I realize that screws it up.
If you just have the Book of Mysteries, if you turn 35 pages in, you'll be at by location.
I know.
It's
but that's not-
impossible to turn 395 pages in to the Book
So
of
what's
Mysteries.
on your brain, Red?
Can you look to the bottom of the 35th page and tell me what the actual page number is, though, so I can find it? 395. Thank you. Okay, cool. All right. So when you say by location, when I'm thinking about it, my first impression is this idea that you are existing in two places at once. It's not like, oh, you get a magical doppelganger that just acts the way you want it to act. It's not like mirror image or
It's literally
it's not
called
like
a
simulacrum.
It's literally called a projection.
Yep.
A projection,
there's
right?
The real
Yeah.
me, and there's a secondary me somewhere else.
A
So
projected.
for me, I feel like it's like Luke Skywalker at the end of The Last Jedi, right?
Yeah, it's a lot
In
more
that
like
sense,
That, yeah.
So I like this idea that you're sharing your resources, but you're also aware of what's happening in both locations, right?
Right. But that is a thing that only happens for about an hour. It can happen at my discretion, or if someone really, really prays hard for me.
Yeah.
Although,
fine.
you know,
It's plot based in
That's
that you
really
decide
cool.
to give it out, and you could also decide to tap it for
I
me.
want to point out, though, there is an interesting plot hook that we have going on at the moment that could immediately destroy your bilocation. And
What is
that we
that?
have Lady Amistad projecting herself across places. And she could physically be in one location and see you, and have her own projection see you somewhere else.
She could
We can have our
independently
projections
verify.
fighting while we're both fighting.
Sort of a counter bilocation, if you will.
It is
Intriguing.
hilarious, and I love the image.
Well, I think that's really funny, but I also think that I kind of love when you look through this book, there's a lot of really cool powers and abilities, and a lot of it feels like so situational. I love the idea that you guys have split the party to opposite sides of the continent, and yet you could do something like this using bilocation. Not only does it make sense mechanically, more or less, it makes sense narratively, and I love it. I'm so in love with the idea. So the problem with
Alright.
this is that how do you negotiate like syncing all of this stuff up? But because a trigger is one of the
Here's-
triggers can be when someone really needs you, right? When someone prays to have you there. I think it would be fair enough to say like, okay, this is something that triggers and that these two encounters could be happening, could have some overlap, right?
Well, that's what we were saying, though. It would
Yeah.
benefit us to not have them at the same time.
Yeah. We also have no control over them happening at the same time either. So
I
my
see what you're saying.
interpretation,
Yeah, that's a
like,
fair point.
or at least like how I would like run the session would be Sir Connor gets to his location, he does like his narrative stuff, he gets to a fight, and then he goes, I sincerely wish that the doctor was here. The doctor's there for that fight, and the projection, the chapter gift is used up. Then we
Exactly.
shift over to the other crew, and it's alright, the doctor is physically here all along.
It's also
Cool.
the fact that if you do this in 2 separate days, he's not taxed for all of his resources across 2 battles.
This is a very fair point.
Yeah. So that
Although it's
might
also
require
more
like some
dramatic.
counting of like how long does it take us to get from A to B in both parties, which is going to be fun to calculate.
Exactly.
I mean, it is
But
also
which we can do. We know the point where you guys diverged.
it is
and we
very
know how long
dramatic to
ago it
have them
takes.
both happen in the same day, though. That's true because if you say, "Quick, I need a flesh ward," and be like, "I can't. Gar is dying over here." And it's
He's
like,
dying.
what? You're having the
I'm
other
holding
fight
him
right
in my
now?
arms. Yeah, right. Well, we'll see what happens. I think it's fantastic. I would love it. I would love it to be a thing. But we'll see what happens next session. Next session, it seems like things are coming to a head. If you guys it might have been, well, I don't know. We'll see. What I'm trying to say and what I'm not committing to in my own head is we might be coming up to the end of the campaign.
Yeah.
I think the showdown with Amelsand is kind of like a good climax point and one of the
will be
better
hard
ones that
to
we
be
have.
bigger than that for sure.
Right, exactly. So we might have one or two more sessions.
What's the fox's
and hope-
name again?
Calpurnia.
Right. All I have to do is propose marriage now.
There you
And
go.
then sell her on the idea that wielding the sword, we can overturn Lady Amosad if she never comes back. And that we can
Ooh.
take over Triskellion together.
I mean, crazier things have happened. So yeah,
That would be hilarious. I'd love to hear it.
get her to betray her.
I mean, well, the thought
king
also
and
occurs to
country.
me that, I'm abandoning the seat of a minor house to engage in my
Yeah.
own freedom of marching across the land. But since I linked the One Piece image earlier, what's more free than being the king of everything?
Yeah, the one true King Gar. Gar gets there, he picks up the sword, and it starts to glow, and all the children of the shade just go, whoa.
Well, I don't think the sword will actually ever glow because I don't have the bloodline of the Rinaldi, so I think.
Yeah, there's
Damn.
like 5% fox.
Unfortunately, we don't have like an illusionist here. It only has to glow like once with a lot of people looking at it.
Right.
We have the thaumaturge, and his light is mobile. He can
Yeah.
manifest it on the sword.
Well, no, you can't manifest it on the sword because it glows like.
He glows.
Well, no, like a whole area glows. I guess I could He-Man it, right? Hold it aloft into the air and just have the glow.
Yes, just have him stand behind you, right?
Well, he's my manservant. He's always behind me.
There you go. Yeah,
I have
wouldn't be a bad end.
the
We'll see.
power.
Well, it says in the page 86 that the light is supernatural and does not travel further than 4 paces from the caster.
Yeah.
But it does, though, because it travels like 12 meters from the caster. That's, what, D4 cover.
So like the
But that's the light, not the
point
shield.
of origin? Oh, the shield. Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a light that can be moved anywhere within 4 paces of you, and a shield which just extends to a certain area.
Yeah, but that's part of the light, though. The shield is part of the light. It's like a dim light at a certain distance, and it's a brighter light at the center.
There are 2 separate things that happen when you guard, and they can both happen simultaneously.
Right. We can do some
Is it
very
like-
silly stuff here.
Is it like the origin point of the light is mobile within 4 paces, but then like the light glows out and that's the aura that is protected? Is that what we're talking about? I don't know. I don't have the rules in front of me. I should, I guess.
The
But
light is basically like a little mobile wisp, and it's separate too, but still caused by the guarding.
okay.
Well, I think the argument still stands that the sword isn't 4 paces long.
No. But I do think that it would be feasible through camera tricks to make it look like there's light coming off of you holding the sword. That might be enough.
I mean,
no people have seen this.
Sure, I need all these
miracle
people
occur.
to stand around me. Ignore the blue prisms that they're holding. I mean, that's right up there with, hey, I've had these people draw art of me holding a blue sword. They're just not going to stand around me holding the paintings.
Hey, would an artist draw something that didn't happen?
It
I don't
wasn't
think
real.
so.
At the end of the day, it's all just political maneuvering. It's a campaign.
After all, don't they say
which-
pictures or it didn't happen? And there you go. You had an artist draw you a picture.
I held the
think-
sword in
What
a room.
happened?
The only witness was this artist, so I had him draw a picture of what he saw.
I mean, if Raph was here, it would come right back to the whole saint miracle thing. Like, once again, it doesn't take that much. You just have to convince a few people and then let the story spread, and that's generally enough.
Honestly, if Raph was
Get it done.
here, he would probably say something along the lines of "Only the living can tell tales," or some shit
you
like
go.
that. That your legal authority exists as far as you can project it through force or something.
Yeah.
So it's like no one is going to step down, even if the sword glows blue. You're still gonna have to enact the will of the people or whatever.
You're still gonna have to fight. You just
Right.
technically have the authority afterwards.
This is more Game of Thrones, less Sword in the Stone.
All right. So, Red, how do we want to wrap this up then?
With a musical number.
With a song I prepared. No, I think we're gonna wrap it up by saying that's it for today. Thank you for joining us. If you tuned in, thank you guys for playing and for sticking with us for so long on this very long campaign. And we'll see you next week for what could potentially be the final session, but also may not. We'll see what happens.
All right, then. See you next time, everybody.
Bye.
Take it easy, guys.
Oh.